Turkey farmers in England are optimistic about fulfilling Christmas demand this season after enduring a devastating 2022. A new strain of bird flu wiped out half the free-range flock last year. The disease known as H5N1 is still present, but immunity in Europe's wild bird population has increased, and its impact this year hasn't been nearly as bad. Stuart Smith takes us to a farm in southern England.
It's a point of pride amongst free-range farmers that their animals can move around unconfined, and so at Copas farms, instead of 4 walls, alpacas protect from dangers like foxes. But it's much harder to stop the threat from the sky: bird droppings, potentially contaminated with avian flu, a disease which can kill 85% of the flock in just 72 hours. In autumn 2022, it was being found right across the country, devastating the domestic turkey market and creating crippling shortages right before Christmas. Copas turkeys only narrowly avoided that fate.
We were incredibly lucky that we actually had no bird flu anywhere really near us, and the heat maps afterwards, like this part of the country had a completely clear spot, which was amazing. I was incredibly fortunate to have that. But even though we were seeing bird flu just popping up from like one part of the country to the next part of the country.
In order to mitigate the risk, farms put their turkeys in lockdown. To prevent cross-contamination between farms, biosecurity measures were massively enhanced. Staff were limited to one site, public footpaths diverted, and equipment kept to one farm. Birds were slaughtered earlier than usual rather than risk flu hitting the flock closer to Christmas. Many of those biosecurity measures from the 2022 outbreak continue today, but now, at least, the turkeys are free to roam.
Turkeys do well when they're free-ranging. They have a lovely time outside. They like to roam and explore and chat, like we can hear them today chatting away. So that's where you have a healthy, happy turkey.
The staff have to remain vigilant, aware the threat could appear at any time.
While farms like this can take practical measures to try to protect their flock, long-term, farmers are hoping vaccine research may prove the answer to their annual problem.
The UK's Animal and Plant Health Agency is working with international partners to try to develop a new vaccine.
You want a vaccine that's very effective, that stops infection or at least reduces infection and basically interrupts the virus spreading from one bird to another. So we are doing work to enable matching of global strains in use in vaccines to the currently circulating field viruses.
With better vaccines for the current strains, their use in England could become more feasible. But there are high costs, not just for developing the right vaccine.
The international standards set down for this are very prescriptive. They require monthly checking, lots of testing, and it's all very costly. I suspect more countries in Europe will start vaccinating. Of course, vaccination has been used for some time in Asia to control this infection, and will continue to do so because, of course, at the moment, this is somewhat out of control with many countries now infected with this virus.
The risks for any farmer are incredibly high. An infection wouldn't just ruin one Christmas, but 2. Once the virus is discovered circulating in a flock, birds can't be placed on the same site for 12 months, jeopardizing 2 years of business. This year looks set to pass without major trouble for Copas, and by Christmas all the birds will have been sent to the abattoir and the farm clear of turkeys. But that's a luxury other poultry farms just don't have, with a constant cycle of rearing and slaughter requiring endless oversight and protection all year round. Stuart Smith, CNA, Cookham.